All right, going live in three, two, one. Well, this is Layers of Beauty, episode number 4. Wow, we're really getting up there. I didn't realize until I wrote the title number then that we're actually up to episode number 4. How does that feel? How are you doing this evening?
I'm excited. It's episode number 4. I'm surviving.
You're
Hello,
so
everyone.
What are you surviving? I'm just curious.
I'm making it to episode 4.
Oh,
You
survive.
know,
Oh, I see. So you're surviving through all the episodes. It's episode number.
it's an accomplishment. I mean, so far I haven't got any bad comments, so
That's
I'm
true.
I'm happy about that.
So
So maybe that's why I'm surviving.
okay. Well, hopefully you'll survive through any bad comments. If we get any, we'll just brush them aside as if they're nothing anyway. So, uh,
Yes.
now we were talking about the heat wave last week that you were having. I got to say, for the past 3 days, it's been in the almost 100 degrees here. That's Fahrenheit, by the way. So, I have to convert that to Celsius for you. Let me tell you, that's about 35 degrees Celsius. So, is that
Oh
right?
my God. I'm so glad that I'm here, but we are having another heat wave in Vancouver too.
Oh, okay. What do
So
you?
I don't know, for some reason, he doesn't leave us alone. It's because all the nagging that I've been doing throughout the rainy seasons in Vancouver. Like every single day, I complained, why is this rainy? Why is this rainy? And right now, it's just too hot that, I just feel like I'm never satisfied. Probably your audience be like, are you one of those women you just like never make up your mind, woman? What do you want?
the so basically it's a retaliation of sorts. The weather is a retaliation. Is that what you're saying?
I think it's Vancouver's trying to give me a lesson or something. I don't know.
Nature is trying to get back at you, I guess.
But I would take rain and cloudy weather anytime right now to this weather. I
Hmm.
would. I would. I'm serious.
Well, I got to tell you, you talked about the fact that where I'm at, I have air conditioning. Unfortunately, in the middle of the day, I had to turn off one of the air conditioner units because I can't run it because I'm doing my work. It would interfere with my voice work that I do. So I ended up having an air conditioner that was on the like a couple of rooms away. So I was actually very hot. So I was experiencing a pretty bad heat wave in here. Normally, when it's in the 80s, it's not too bad. When it gets closer to 100 degrees, though, it's pretty bad in here because I can't turn on the other air conditioning units. So I wouldn't want anyone to suffer through that. I was feeling really blah and nasty. So yeah, I was. Unfortunately, it's getting cooler now. Right now, with the sun going down, so it's not as bad as it was. But it was pretty bad during the midday hours.
Yeah, I can totally feel that right when you talk about the heat because it's so hot right now, and I'm one of those people that I can survive in um, North Pole. if you if you move me to North Pole, I would kind of find a way to survive, and I'm okay with that. But if you make me move somewhere, I don't know, in the Amazon layer around that, or not Amazon, like the Amazon forest,
Yeah. Uh,
I think I'm gonna die. I'm
Oh,
serious. I think I'm gonna
oh,
like it. That's gonna be the end of me.
oh, goodness. So you sound like my dad a little bit. He always used to say that he hates the heat so much, but he can tolerate. He'd rather live like in DC. We'll get like temperatures down to like to the 30s over, which is Fahrenheit. That is, so that's close to the zero, I guess, where you are for Celsius. I mean, and he said he'd rather have really cold temperatures because at least he can just walk into a house and get warmed up. Whereas when it's hot, he's just hot all the time, and
Yeah,
it's just
exactly, exactly. And I mean, as long as you have air conditioning, I think it's good. But when you go to the street, I mean, there's no air conditioning in the street, right? What are you gonna do? You have to walk under the sun, and then you sweating. There's the drip, drip, drip. You sweating, and then you just cannot do anything. But if it's winter, I mean, you can just like wear, I don't know, one of those humongous jackets, right?
that's true.
And with like umbrella, hat, gloves, like it's gonna be okay. But
But
again, that's my experience. I don't
but
know. It's me.
I don't know. Winters where you are, do you get the ice? You don't get the ice and snow though, do you?
No, that would be more around. It would be around the eastern area, eastern, like around Toronto, Ottawa, um, Calgary is also Montreal. It gets like under zero, a
Oh yeah,
lot under zero.
yeah. That's yeah.
You
When
need
you
like a ski like outfit
oh
kind of
right.
to survive.
Yeah, it's yeah, because once you get that snow, that's when it could be kind of treacherous. You have to drive and slide around, and if you're well, I don't mind driving in the snow too much, except I live on a hill that doesn't get cleared, so it's kind of scary to drive up and down when there's snow.
Oh,
So
that's dangerous. That's
yes,
dangerous. But you know how to drive in snow, right? Because we don't get snow here a lot, so I don't know. Most of the people don't know how to drive in snow.
yeah, I like driving in the snow, but as long as the road is treated properly. Because if it's not treated properly, then it can be very dangerous. So the in DC, the Virginia, they usually treat the roads pretty quickly. So it's pretty safe. It's as long as you know what you're doing and you're not too reckless, you're fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
It's in some areas where you are, since they probably don't get much snow, it'd probably be more treacherous. They probably wouldn't treat the roads quickly enough. So you probably see a lot of people crashing more, and
yeah.
and to be much more a more dangerous situation, I would think. So
I would, speaking of the snow and the dangerous situations on the road, I have like a really quick story that is very funny and is actually related to beauty as well. Just gonna want to quickly put it out that I like as a Persian lady, like the way we do our eyebrows is we do threading, and there's a special techniques, and we have like in Persian community, like someone do it for us. So there was this snowy day, and all of a sudden it's snowing, and we get that this is like a few years ago, and I have an eyebrows appointment that I have to go and because I usually do it every 2 weeks, and there's this lady that I go, but she's all the way across the town, so I have to drive quite a bit. And in the radio or like in the news, they're saying, all the be careful driving out there is not recommended. So me being really just like, I really need to get my eyebrows done. Because I don't know, there's something about like Persian eyebrows. It's just like change your whole, it's very important for us. So I'm getting on the highway, and I'm looking around, and it's just the snow is just coming. It's just coming, and I'm looking around. There is no one in the freeway. Like I'm the only car driving, and I have a phobia of like I don't know, spaces that are very large, and there's no one there, and just too much space. I'm just like very scared. But anyways, I make it to the place, but there's a hill that I have to go. So obviously my car is not snow ready, and as I'm driving, I don't know how to do it. So my car just like kind of smear around, and I don't know what's happening, and I'm getting scared. So I stop, and there are cars behind me, and they're like, what are you doing, lady? So I'm like one street away from the eyebrows point lady, and I'm just coming out of the car, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And the guy's like, well, get in your car, get out of the way. So I get in the car again, and I'm like, okay, I need to do something. So after I think 5 minutes of me just calming down, I make it to the eyebrow place. But do you think was it really worth it? This is just this is the things women do to get beautiful.
For me, if it was something like that was very important to me, and it was snowing, the snow wouldn't bother me. So, but I mean, if you're not familiar with the snow, then you were really being pretty brave at that point. You were really going out on a limb, I guess, so to speak.
I wouldn't do that right now, but I don't know what was I thinking. I was very young at that time, and I don't know why I was going somewhere, and I liked this guy that I was meeting that weekend. I think I was like in my early 20s or like something, and I was like, I have to have a perfect eyebrows. So I don't know what was that about eyebrows, but again, this is a Persian thing. Like if you don't get your eyebrows done, and it might even not make a difference to you. it seems like no matter how much makeup you put, your makeup is not done because your eyebrows is not done. So that's something about the beauty you guys learned about the Middle Eastern Persian eyebrows.
You so basically, yeah, you're willing to risk yourself in the snow to make sure you look as beautiful as you can.
Yeah, it sounds
This-
very stupid though. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, how pathetic and stupid you are, woman. What were
oh,
you
no,
thinking?"
I wouldn't say that. I would not say that. Well, of course, I like driving in the snow, so maybe that's why I wouldn't say that. But as long as you're safe, though, I don't think it's big. And I'm surprised they were actually open. The place was actually open for you to do that.
It's not a salon. It wasn't a salon. She had like a business. Well, it was a business license place, but she's like one of the most famous eyebrow lady. I would call it. I don't. We call it the doctor of eyebrows because
Doctor of eyebrows. Wow.
yeah, because she's the only one who can make your eyebrows perfect. And every time I get my eyebrows done with her, people would come and ask me, "Where did you get your eyebrows done?" Like every time. But it's been a year that I haven't gone to her because I don't know if I'm comfortable like going to um, people's houses and getting close. And because eyebrows, you have to come close, right?
Oh,
And
so
yeah,
she runs out of a house. I see. I didn't realize that. Okay.
and also I think I learned how to do my eyebrows during COVID.
Oh, okay. Well, they look pretty good. So.
Well, thank you. It is what it is. I guess that's what I can't really go there anymore, I guess.
Well, I would you like to check our question from last week? See what kind of
Let's do
response
that.
Okay, I'm bringing it up right now. It looks pretty good. There we go. We got. I'll read the question first. In your opinion, do working men's and women's household responsibilities are equal in today's generation? And we got 2,000 votes. Yes is the number one response there. 85% with yes, they are both equal. Next, we got 10% with no, women work more at home, and we got 5% with no, men work more at home. Interesting.
Sorry, how many? 5%?
5% for men, yes.
Okay, I want to see what those people are. I would be really
Yeah.
interested.
I mean, I used to. There was a guy that used to work for me about 10 years ago. He used to talk about the fact that he was a house husband because his wife was the one that went out and she had the job and he stayed at home and took care of the kids. So he it was kind of interesting. He was a nice guy and everything, and so I think he'd be one of the 5% in that category. So um, but yeah, I do think that is kind of a rare number of people. So let's take a
But
look.
that's good to know, though. I mean, it looks like we're going to more equal. The trend is going more equal for both gender.
I agree. Oh, I think yeah, definitely agree with that. That's for sure. Now, and as far as my family goes, I think I said this last week. My sister, she's basically staying at home right now, taking care of her sons. So kind of it's still women. She's still staying at home, doing the. I don't know, but she also has a job where she works at home too. So that's a little
Yeah,
different. So let's
that's
see.
true.
When my mother was when I was a kid with my mother back in the day, that was completely different. So she did not. My mother did not have a job, and she stayed at home and took care of my sister and me. So she definitely was a dedicated housewife at that point. Let's see. Do you look at the first answer? I love you has stopped working. Oh, I love you. EXE has stopped working. Is what it says. The women are the best in home. She who emotionally take care of the kids. I'm reading it the way it's written here, by the way. Cooks and cooks and take care of the house, which make her feels like she is the queen of it. The man, the real one, isn't the one who likes raising kids or sitting at home without a job. It makes him feel like a real man when who is the manager who organizes and the one with huge responsibility of getting the money and the important things for his family, and the woman sometimes can't.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, but sometimes, like I gave that the incident, the situation with the guy that used to work for me. His name was Chris, by the way. His wife was the one that was the breadwinner. She made all the money, and he stayed at home, and they were happy that way. So it worked. So it does work. I'm not saying it's always like that, but it does work. So it doesn't have to be. I guess this response right here is basically saying, that's the way it is, and I guess he's not really changing his opinion. He goes on to say it's unfortunate that the women who choose to stay at home to take care of the house and her family by making her husband happy and comfort. This is not written. Sorry, this is not written very well. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just that the grammar is not really that well. It's not really done that well. Raise her kids to become real men in the future, especially to make those kids never abandon their parents alone at home or at the elderly homes as if they were useless stuff, being locked as a servant or slave. Okay, that's
I
kind
don't
of
understand. Sorry, I didn't get the the whole paragraph.
yeah. I'm not sure I get it either. Uh, it's not. I'm not trying to be. Maybe we should skip past that one for now
Yeah,
because
I, I
I,
think like maybe he can comment again and then make us. But for now, I think we're just not sure because we don't want to interpret it wrongly, right?
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, go. If you could reword that, maybe we can understand a little bit better. So we'd appreciate that. Jose Pedro says, "Me fan, cool, thank you." Uh, I thought women work more. That's Dominique says, "I thought women work more at the home, because I know they can be maids, etc." Well, that's just
They
like
can be what?
maids, like a maid, like a person that takes care of the house, like a maid. You know what a maid is?
But what does this have to do with being a maid? I
It's
don't
not.
understand.
It doesn't. That's why I'm like, kind of giving like a disgusting response here. Myself, I'm like, that doesn't really make any sense because they can
Maybe
be.
she's being sarcastic. I don't know. I don't know her tone. So
Yeah. Daryl says no because in this generation there is no men or women, just cabbages. Okay, I'm not sure what that means exactly. Crystal says I love GTA. Chris Best Fan says, from my experience, men work more at home since I separately live with my girlfriend. Okay, men runs the place. But that's Polak. Thumbs up.
okay.
Uh, Roy 316 says women work more in the home, but a good family is when both of them work together and make it more beautiful. Okay, well that I agree with that statement right there. That's a good
Yeah,
one. That's a good one.
I
Okay.
like that one too.
Uh, Generally speaking, the women does more work, but my dad does 100%. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Um,
So sorry. Generally, woman works more, but my dad does 100%. Is that what?
yeah, so I'm not.
Okay, so it could be a different. Like, of course, like every family is different.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely men. It says Inda. Sorry for mispronounced the name. It says definitely man work more at home. My mom's dead. Oh, my mom's dead. Okay, and then they say LOL. Okay, okay. I don't know if we
Okay.
should laugh, but they're not. But they're laughing. So, um, and Sandeep Mohanar says my opinion is they should be tested equal everywhere, not only in the house. And just Russian. I'm not sure what that says right there. So
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah. Okay. Well, those are interesting responses. Some of them I agree with, some of them I'm not so exactly sure. So, but yeah, there's the that was interesting. We got a response from Eric says that Katie says she's jealous of you and Tannaz. I'm not sure what that means. Who Katie? Katie, the girlfriend in the video game, I guess.
What does that mean?
Katie is I assume he's referring to Katie. There's a girlfriend in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which is the video that I have, the video game that I have prominently on
Yes,
my channel. I
yes.
assume he's referring to that Katie. So she's a girlfriend that CJ, who's the main character, can become girlfriend. He can become involved with in the game. So I assume he's.
Oh, I should
She's
check that out. Actually,
yeah. We could actually do a video sometime together and show you how to get her as a girlfriend. It'd be kind of interesting. So how do you feel about the responses all overall?
I think they're just. Uh, it's. I would expect that the woman would be. It looks like obviously the woman works more. I think that was my expectations. But I was hoping more like engagement response. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
like maybe I mean this is what the show is about, to have like more engagement so we can kind of argue and like have different opinions. Do you know what I mean? I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes it more engaging and interesting.
Mm. Well, there are some well, there are comments in there that are basically um, going back and forth. I mean, there are people that say one way and people say the other way, but we can't really engage them since these are really comments, obviously.
Yeah,
But we can respond to the comments at the very least. So,
yeah. But
but
then overall, yes, that's exactly what I expected. And uh, you know, there are a lot of response to compare with our previous questions, right? There are
mhm.
more answers and responses this time.
Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty good. Well, did you want to post the next question? I can go ahead and pull that out if you're ready.
Yes, I'm actually excited about that. That's the
Okay.
one that I'm excited the most.
What do you want to read it while I'm doing it? While I'm putting it
No,
out
you
here?
go ahead. You go ahead, or
Oh,
whichever. Um,
okay.
let me
Okay.
just.
I will bring it. Give me a second here. I'll put it up here. Okay. I'm copying and pasting this one. Okay. So how the represent. Okay. Let me see if this is worded. How this is worded. How the I'm sorry. How the representations of female in video games has changed your experience towards women. Should there be an extra word in there? I think there should be an extra word in there, right? Let me see.
How the representations of female in video games
Shouldn't be
change.
how shouldn't the word has be in there? Am I right? Like this? How has the representations of females in video games? Oh no, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That kind of weird.
Yeah, we
It's
want to make it like as long as we want to make it like kind of simple. It looks like maybe I just made it really wordy.
hold on a second. Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I'm trying to bring this up here. I do apologize. Give me one second here. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Okay, how the representations of women in video games has changed your how? Okay, yeah, I think the word has to be at the beginning. How has the
Oh yeah,
represent?
okay, got it. I was just doing okay. Yep.
So we want to put the word has at the beginning, right?
Hmm.
Okay. How has the representations of women in video games changed? So we want to take this has out now because that
Yeah,
would make it. There we go. Okay, that makes more
change.
sense. Yep. Okay, so let me see. How has the representations of females of female so of put females s there so, like or
Mhm.
women we want to change that to women.
Sure, because I used the woman again. I just wanted to use different,
Oh,
so would
okay,
it be repetitive?
yeah, I got you.
But
Okay, yeah,
all good.
yeah, but definitely we had to change that to females instead of just
Sure.
female. Okay, so let me read it again. How has the representation of females in video games changed your expectations towards women? Okay, I think that's better. I think that's worded
Okay.
good. Okay, cool.
Thanks for correcting it for me.
Yeah, it was fine. I'm usually the one with the bad grammar here,
I should
so
have. You know what? I usually proofread it, but I totally skip it this time.
oh,
So my bad.
well, you're talking to the person that makes grammatical mistakes all the time on my comments on these, so don't worry about it. It's all big. It's no big deal. So let's see. Okay, I'm putting the responses in here. Let me put them in, and we can read them together. Give me 1 second. Okay, so the first response is. Give me a second while I adjust my mouse again. Okay,
No
no
change.
change. Right. Created. The next one is down is created unrealistic expectations and fantasies, and
Applications.
others. Oh, and others. If so, please specify, please. Okay. Um. Other what though? What do you mean by others? Others. Wait a minute, how is?
Like any other, like it doesn't have to be A and B. Like in any other way is changed because we always put something that it's not including A and B, or we could just put A and B there.
Okay. So others. Oh, okay. Or not. another how should we say? I like the fact you could put that third one in there. Trying to see how to word that so it makes it a little bit so it comes across more clearly. Um, other other how's the reputation of females? Other expectations? Do you want me to put it as other expectations, maybe? Or
Mm,
let's see. Um,
none of the above. If so, please specify. How's
okay.
that?
Yeah, that works. Yeah. Okay. 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 Leave a, or we could say leave a comment. If so, leave a comment below. Leave a comment. That would be so. Leave a comment. That way, that because I think that'll make it a
Yeah,
little better. There we go. Cool. Okay. How's that look? Ready?
perfect.
Cool. Okay. We'll go ahead and post that, and we'll come back to it later on. See what kind of responses we get. That was a good question. Alrighty. So there we go. And bring it up here so we're ready to go. Alrighty.
But I think, like Zoom, this is your area of expertise. So why don't you open for us, open the discussion? So
Okay.
because you have more experience in that field.
Okay. Well, I mean, the games I usually play usually have, I mean, in my opinion, tend to be geared towards men. So when
Mm-hmm.
you say, uh, as far as representation, you're talking about, are you talking about women in video games, like the characters in the games are
Yes,
female? Okay,
yes.
I'm gonna bring this back down so we can focus on this. Uh, so, um, the as far as I mean, I can't think of any games I played where there were any women in there as the main characters, but there are a lot of women in the games. So,
Mm-hmm.
like the game I play the most is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on my channel. So, in that game, I mentioned the girlfriend Katie, and so she's a very minor character in the game, but there are 6 other girlfriends that CJ can get that he can acquire. 3 of them are acquired during the story missions, and the other 6. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there. Wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4. Other 4 are just optional girlfriends. So like, there's one girlfriend in there. Her name is Catalina, and she becomes really she is really aggressive. She's really dominating. She's also very she doesn't take anything from CJ. She's very controlling. So if you the way they portray her is very she doesn't take any crap from anybody is basically what I'm getting at. She's very tough. She's also a criminal. She's broken the law, so maybe that's why she's really tough and everything. But a lot of the characters in the game are criminals. They all break the laws, so that's not unexpected there. But the other girlfriends that he meets in there, they're much more. They're definitely not nowhere near as aggressive. One of the girlfriends he meets, her name is Millie, and she's basically he starts to date her so she can help him uh, rob a casino. They're going to rob a casino at the end of the game, closer to the end of the game. So he originally wants to get close to her so he can get her pass key card so they can break into the casino. So eventually he lets her know that, and so but she's very sweet, she's not aggressive at all, and she just essentially she just seems like she just wants the money at the end, kind of. So but she is a dominatrix though. She does do the BDSM stuff, so kind of kinky stuff. Um, the other girlfriend that's in the game that is a she's in the ghetto, kind of, I guess you could say. She's a that where CJ grew up. She's just a like a gang, like a gang member type person. She's like a gang. Her name is Denise, and she's a I mean, they have a very each character is very diverse. They're not the same at all. So
Yeah.
as I'm trying to think of
Do you have
those.
some pictures of them? I think like maybe we talk about their because what I was mostly geared towards was the physical representation of women in video games.
Oh, okay.
How are they being portrayed as?
Okay.
Skinny, um, I don't know, athletic, too sexy. Uh,
I can
so
I can tell you right now, they're definitely all done in a somewhat sexy way for sure. They're definitely not overweight in any way. Here's Catalina. Let's see if we okay, here's a picture of Catalina right there. She might look a little there you go. There she is right there. That's Catalina. Get a side profile of her. So she's the one that's tough. She doesn't take any crap from anybody. She's a very tough person. In fact, you see this one scene right here where she has a knife. When CJ first meets her, she's done very sexy, very much in a very alluring way. But at the same time, she's a very tough and she doesn't take any crap. So um, I'm trying to think. Here's a that's not really her. That's not right. That's not even from the game. That's someone's interpretation there. So
why
it's
do you think the portraits and the way they are made in the video games are sexy?
I probably because they're trying. I guess the primary audience I guess would be men for the game. That's that's
Mhm.
my guess. So because there aren't any unattractive women in the game. They are definitely all done in some sort of sexy way. I can bring up the other girlfriends. You can see what I'm talking about.
Even villains are portrayed sexy, right?
Right,
Or
exactly.
shown and okay, or created in that way. That's very interesting.
Here's Millie. In fact, this is from my video right here. That's one of my videos. That's Millie right there. So you can see she's done it. She works as a casino. That's why she's wearing that outfit. So you can see how she looks.
Are you sharing the screen? Because I don't see anything
I'm
now.
sorry. Oh, sorry. Here
Oh,
it is.
that's okay.
I forgot to bring it up. There she is. Sorry.
So, no worries. So which one is okay? So she
This
doesn't seem like she does seem like a tomboy here.
she's very sexy though. She has a very sweet, sexy voice. So
Oh,
um
because even the voice has been created in a sexy way.
yeah, exactly. Let me go back since we missed. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Let me go back over here for a second. And let me see. Here's Catalina. Sorry that you missed Catalina. That was my fault. My fault. Here she is.
Oh, that's okay.
So that's Catalina right there.
Oh my God, is that her breast size?
Yes.
Is this
Yes. Yeah.
realistic? Is she good in games? Like, how is she? Is she tough? She's like fighter.
Yeah, she's very tough, very much very tough, very much a fighter. In fact, the first time you see her, she's holding a knife right there. The first time that see her in the game, she's fighting two or three other men in a bar.
The fact that with that breast size, because those are very heavy and can actually hurt your back, she can fight that way. That's amazing.
Oh, well, it's good. Of course, it's not. This is a video game.
But for all women who have large breasts, no offense. I mean, I'm just trying to understand the video games, right?
hmm This is this is her in another game. She was actually in two games. She was in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas as well as Grand Theft Auto 3.
She has a very nice body.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, definitely very
Can you bring her body in a way that we can exactly see her, like zoom in, because I want to see it from the top to bottom.
I don't think I have that ability here. Sorry.
Oh, you know the third picture, is that her? The not this one on your search result. Yeah, the one that you have your mouse in. Can you click on that and zoom it for us?
Let's see what we got here. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna. Hold on a second. Here we go. How about this? Is that it?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I can see that now. Wow, look at that curve and stomach and abs.
Yeah. So, Yeah, she was in this game, she was definitely drawn to be even more alluring, more attractive, in my opinion. So, and she has a more sexier voice. She was voiced by the same actor as well, the same voice actress. She voiced the same one in both video games. But yeah, she's uh her voice in the first game that she's in, which was Grand Theft Auto 3, this is what she looked like. Her voice was very sexy. In the second game, when she was in her, she looked sexy, but they changed the demeanor of the character, so she was just very mean all the time. So she was just very vicious, but she saw that sexy quality to her voice. So
That's very interesting. I mean, I'm just observing right now because as a woman, looking at that, it's just the fantasies of video. There's nothing wrong with that. Trying to what it lines.
yeah,
And you're right. It is made for mostly men,
yeah, oh,
right?
definitely, yeah, yes, I agree. Yeah, very much so. Let me see if I can bring up
So the audience can maybe put the comments in the chat, or maybe just kind of we can have that conversation. I want to understand that, yeah, we have this beautiful woman as an example here, or just generally like women are very beautiful in video games, and they're tough and they're strong. And then, so does that mean, because this is made towards the fantasies of men, right? Um,
yeah.
does that mean that men love a woman who's physically beautiful, but is also very strong and beat them? Because I thought it was the other way, like someone fragile. I don't understand the I just want to understand the reason behind the creation, the philosophy behind that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think you pretty much nailed it there. I mean, it's pretty much it's done to make her look attractive to men. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind anyway. I mean, is because all the characters are done in a sexy, they're done up in a very sexy way. Like we get Millie. Now, there's one other girlfriend that I was talking about. Let me bring her up here. Wait a second. I'll go back a little bit. So we showed Millie earlier, and she was done very sexy. Denise is the other one I talked about. She's kind of like the gangbanger girlfriend. There she is. So she's not. She is done kind of sexy, but she's also like a gang member type. So there she is right there. Um, so she's not. I wouldn't say she has the sex appeal as the other ones do. All the other girlfriends are definitely very sexy. This one's done in a more of a gangbanger kind of a thing. A street thug kind of a thing. She likes to date guys who are, gangbangers. Have guns in a gang or whatever. So she dresses kind of like the way they would dress. So she's not really done in a very sexy way,
Okay,
but
that's good. So that's one exception I think we can find.
yeah, yeah. And as far as the women in this game, there aren't for any. I don't think there are any other women in this game. I mean, there's the girlfriends. I can show you another one that's. Here we go. Go show you Katie. Katie is definitely uh more sexy, very sexually drawn. There she is, right there. So you can see how she's done. And in the game, she's a nurse. I could show you a video of her, but unfortunately, the video I have of mine, she does something that's would
Sexy, yeah. I
make
can
you.
see she's very sexy, yeah.
Yeah. And here's another one right here. Here's Helena. Helena is also like very sexy. Done. Let me. I can bring her up. You can see more pictures of her. Helena.
Which one is the most popular one?
Probably Catalina, because she's the one that in the game. There's another one of my videos right there. In the game, Catalina is the one where she's the most prominently featured female in the whole game. I think. I'm trying to remember if there's any other women. There are a couple of minor women here and there, like those that are also done very sexy. I just remembered. but they're very minor characters, and they're usually just like there's a pimp in one of this part of the story, and he has a bunch of prostitutes that work for him, and so the prostitutes are done up very sexy, obviously because they're prostitutes,
Yeah.
but they aren't main characters though. They're just there. They don't really say anything that's relevant. They may have like a line or two or something, but nothing really relevant. But yeah, definitely Catalina. Let me bring her back up. She's the one that's the most prominent of all the women in the game, for sure.
Now, I have a question. I'm just so new with this, with the video game sport. I just want to understand. So, when we have women or female in video games as a main character, does male player play as that female?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot
Okay.
of yeah, that's not a lot. There's the most prominent, I would think, and maybe I'm wrong in this. Maybe someone can correct me. Yeah, have you ever heard the video game Tomb Raider?
No.
Okay, the Tomb Raider. There she is, Laura Croft. There she is. Laura Croft is the main character of that video game, and a lot of men play this game. So, if you the I have a couple of the I've not I have like about maybe 4 or 5 of these games I never finished. I installed them, I just never played them. They were kind of interesting. I did play one like up to a few levels, and I just got bored with it, so I stopped playing. I forget which one it was, but as you can see, the size of her breasts are very large.
And there's no fat in her body.
No, none at all. No, no. And if you look at the, and this, I'm pretty sure if you were to pick the one woman who's the most well-known like you play as the main character, this is probably the most well-known character of all video games I can think of. That's a female. That's a
Is it
woman.
not the Angelina Jolie also play her at some movies?
Uh,
What was
it
the name
might,
of that movie?
I can't remember. Let's see. There have been, I think, 2 movies. I can't remember when they went. One came out like 10 years ago, I think, and the other came out like I forget when the other one came out. Um, but yeah, we can look that up let's look that up in a second. Is this her?
Yeah,
Alicia.
and the second result on your search result, second result. No. Second,
I'm sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. Say it again.
the second column, the second picture.
This one?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay. Oops.
It's not the one that Angelina Jolie. I think she played that one.
Let me bring.
Yeah,
Let me bring.
she did. Tomb
Yeah.
Raider.
What year?
Yeah, she played that in 2000. I think 2000, right?
Was that
That
what
was
year
when
was?
she became famous, actually.
Okay, I couldn't remember what, because there's been at least 2 movies, and I've never seen either one. I know that the original one was kind of considered to be kind of a silly one. Laura Croft is
Yeah, this is Angelina Jolie. This is the one that she played in it. You see it?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so you have it there. Okay, so you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
And I remember watching that movie, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this woman is so beautiful. And she became really famous from that movie. She became a sex icon, I think, the symbol of beauty.
I'm trying to bring it up here. Here we go. Okay, this is the one you're looking at. Yeah, here we go. This movie is considered to be not that good. So, um, I'm not nothing about her directly, but the plot, and I've never seen it, but a lot of people that critique this movie say it wasn't that good. So I've never seen it myself, so I can't comment on that. There we go.
It wasn't much content. I think it was all about Angelina Jolie looking like a cartoon. Look at her. She actually looks like a video game. It was about her body, her sex appeal, and she became a sex symbol after this movie. She became, I think, Angelina Jolie after that. It wasn't really about the movie. That's my opinion.
Now, I don't know if you know this, but there was a controversy about the character being too sexy. So if you look at the newer versions of the character, you can see they toned down the breasts a lot.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So this is the oh, this is the movie. I'm sorry, this is the movie. I meant to say the video game. Where's the video game? Uh, oh, wait. Supposedly they toned down her breast size a lot. In the older games, you can clearly see that the breast size is much larger there, and then in the newer ones, it's toned down a little bit. So, and I've not played any of the newer games at all, but there, I, yeah, I'm not sure who that is. That's the one. I guess that's the one that's going to play in the new movie. So, but they were trying to tone down the whole sexy aspect of it that she had. In the earlier games, she definitely had very large breasts that were way oversized, and as the newer ones, they toned them down. How do you feel about that?
The like large breast.
You're breaking up. Sorry, you'll have to repeat that.
Am I on again?
Yeah, you're on. I hear you
Okay.
fine.
So is it the part you want my opinion about the part that what my opinion about the large breast, or what about the fact that
Well,
they changed it now?
how do you feel about them toning it down some? How do you think
Oh,
it's a
toning
good
it
thing?
down. I think it's there's two things in. I think there's always two answers to everything, because there's two sides, right? One of them is, yes, they tone it down because there was unrealistic expectations, and maybe they wanted to bring on more female audience, right? Because as a female, when you're looking at that, you're not really feeling good about yourself, to be honest, right? So
Mhm.
attracting that female audience. But some people might do, but I'm just generally speaking from the female community. And it just creates unhealthy expectations. Then you want to go on a diet and you want to go get that liposuction, breast optimization, enlargement, or nowadays they do butt lift, Brazilian. There's all different kinds, right? So there is. So you just wanted to look like that character that most men says, "Oh my God, did you watch that?" That fantasize about, right? But it's not real. I mean, even Angela Jolie, it was all about the angles. I mean, she's beautiful, but I'm pretty sure, like, even her, she had some flaws, but they just kind of make it to the movie. Um,
Mhm.
so I think they just wanted to get more realistic. But then on the other side, I'm thinking that, is this for fantasies? And is it the whole point of fantasy to be unrealistic? But again, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that the fantasy is supposed to be unrealistic or realistic? What is your fantasy?
But it's a movie, so my question would be to you is, what would it really matter? I mean, if they make her to be unrealistic and over the top as far as being sexy and everything, is that really a problem? I mean, if people want to watch it, I mean, if people want to buy it and watch the movie, is that really a problem? You don't have to go see the movie, right? I mean, I'm just making giving you a counter argument to what you're saying there.
Yeah, yeah, that's good, and I like that. The argument. Let's argue. I think I want to watch. I cannot also avoid the influences and effects that will have on the movie industry, on Hollywood, and then on the magazines, because our perceptions of beauty constantly changes and relies on what the Hollywood is going to do now. If you go to the store, there's a picture of the celebrities, what this person did, what this person um, wore. If you go to the hair salon, there's all these magazines. If you go to the social media news, so where are where there is, whether directly, it's argument. Yes, you can watch it, but ultimately it's going to of everyone that this is the beauty. This is a definition of beauty. You need
So,
to look
so
like that.
So, as far as like, going overboard on sexy, do you think that movies should be changed, or do you think they should be regulated, or do you think people should be able to continue making the movies the way they want to? And if it's going to be sexy women, should you stop that? Should they be stopped from doing that?
I don't believe in regulation, and I'm completely open with freedom, because that would just, it's never going to work. There's always going to be other ways to make it. I think what I would like is more awareness and realistic in the movies and video games industry. Video games is a little bit different. It's that the woman cannot. Am I on? I think a little bit like disconnected.
Yeah, you're there. You're kind of breaking up a little bit there when you said that, but
Okay, am I good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that let's just forget about the video games, because I think video games and movies are two different topics. The video games are completely fantasy. You can never expect to have reality in video games, because obviously no one's going to have guns or do things in reality. So you know this is actually a fantasy. I'm not talking about that, but if when it comes to movies, then the expectations are more real, because these are the real characters and celebrities that play these roles. And then they're going to go to award shows, red carpets, and then there's going to be fashion who influenced by that. Let's go to do the let's haircut.
Okay, you broke up a little. You said good. Hold on a second. You broke up. You're sorry. You have to repeat that last part.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Something
Hold on.
harder around this time.
Hold on. You were breaking up a lot back for about the last 8 seconds or so. You broke up really badly. You have to repeat that last. They're going to the shows, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, just to kind of saying that the movies are, because it's played by real people and real celebrities, who are mostly attractive for sexy roles, then definitely it's going to affect. But can you change that? I mean, no, you can't just put. I mean, that's the whole point. Like you will have, the looks are important in Hollywood, but I think you would also change. You can the narrative of how we look at the beauties, and I think it is changing. Um, the change free that nothing has to be like this. Um, Not changing the actors, changing the screen and influencing and affecting people's mind. And that would be something that is in collective. It has to be not only the director, movie producer, it has to be everyone from Hollywood, from fashion industry, from magazine editors, from anyone who are influencing in definition of beauty and what.
No, you broke. You hold up. You broke up really badly again. So are you there?
What's that thing you heard I said? Sorry, guys, we have some technical issues.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Let me ask you. Let me ask you this though. What about the idea though that I mean, if you change a woman in a movie, that you're not going to get the same audience. They're going to make less money because that they're looking for that sex appeal. How would you respond to something like that?
I think it's not really about changing the woman in movies, because the sex appeal is always going to be. You can't change that. From thousands of years, there's always people are attracted. It's a human nature to beauty. But what the beauty should be is important, because the sex appeal of today's beauty is completely different than 1950s, 1920s, 1,000 years ago, and 2,000 years ago. I'll give you an example. You go to a country like Iran, that's where I'm from, and when I was a kid there, most of the people, women there, they looked natural. And the natural beauty back then, it was a trend. It was a definition of beauty. Look, you.
It's the national. Wait, okay. You said natural definition of beauty, and then you started to break up again.
then now in Iran, there is no such a thing as natural beauty anymore. Everybody, I would say 90% of women have nose job. They've got their nose done. They have their lip enlarged or Botox. They have Botox. So today's definition of beauty there is you have a perfect nose, you have a perfect lips, you don't have wrinkles if you're young. So the definition of beauty has evolved and changed. And I think that if you go back to a little bit further into history, being like that, like a someone with large breasts and no fat in their body, it was not actually a different like the way it's supposed to be. The beauty was if you have some meat on yourself, you can see from the pictures, a little bit chubbier, um, a little bit, there was different types of beauty. Going back to Egyptians, Cleopatra apparently was very beautiful, but she has a large nose and she was also bald. They would used to shave their heads, Egyptians, and they would put these cap on, or some sort of like Egyptian way of decoration in the head. So again, like it was never like that. That's not the sex appeal is changed, my opinion. Is whatever you advertise, that is going to be the new beauty. Even Marilyn Monroe was not skinny. Marilyn Monroe was actually, I think it was size 8 or 9 or something like that. She
Oh,
was
was
not
she?
skinny. No,
I
she was
didn't.
not skinny. Um, so I think it's changed. Right now, if you have abs, you are considered hot. But Marilyn Monroe, she had curves. She was a big woman. Considering to now, she wasn't big then, but considering to right now, if you go to that bikini picture of her,
Right
her
here.
bikini picture is nothing perfect like now for today's. And compare like, I mean, yeah, she's hot, but she's not considered like a bikini woman.
Right.
Kim Kardashians right now. The Kardashians.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree with what you're saying there. I didn't realize she was what size she was. Um, yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. Sorry, I'm just kind of waiting to
That's
get
okay. I
back
didn't
in.
say anything.
Okay.
I didn't say
Okay.
anything. I was just listening.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. The I think Marilyn Monroe is also she had a very attractive face as well. I think that's because most of the times you see her, it's usually looking at her face. You don't really see her body as much as a lot of these. Well, maybe I'm just there's an emphasis on her face, and she always has that kind of with her eyes slightly closed off a little bit, trying to look more sexy, I guess. But you're right. I never looked at I never really noticed that her body was would have her standard would be different from today. But as far as like I mean, you talked about the idea of living having girls live up to unrealistic expectations when they see a movie. I mean, but do you think that anyone's going to actually change anything um, based on that? I mean, I don't think they will. I mean, because that means they're going to lose out on any kind of large amount of money that's coming in for the movie. I mean, yeah, how would you change? How would you the young girls they say tell them, hey, you can't. You're not going to be able to achieve that. So how would you deal with that with the young women and young girls when they see that? Because obviously that's
That's a
not.
really good question. Yeah, that's a really good question. It's a really good point. I think right now there has been a shift into more awareness, and I tell you why. Based on my observation, we never had in the history of modeling till now or a few years back overweight models became famous. There are like people who are considered fat for modeling industry, but you whatever you make normalized, it becomes sexy. So, 2000, I don't know if you remember, models back then, they were like this. They didn't have anything. The anorexic look was the trend of, you were supposed to look like someone who has anorexia if you wanted to be a model in 2000. In 1990s, there were supermodels era where you would see a lot of women with bigger breasts, a little bit maybe meat, not too skinny. So right now, yeah, there's still, you need to look good if you want to be a supermodel, but there are, in the fashion shows, there's overweight models. I wouldn't say overweight, like they are overweight for modeling, but they're not overweight. So, and they're becoming famous. There are some in TikTok, Instagram, they have so many followers, and some of men's, they consider them sexy. So whatever I think you're just paying more attention to, it becomes more normal. And I'm not saying that our Hollywood industry or the beauty industry is going to change, and I don't want it to change, because I think like sometimes it is what it is, and you can't change it. A little bit more beautiful. But again, that's what I think. What do you think?
Well, you sorry, you kind of broke up a little at that point. And I hate to say that, but could you repeat that last part again? Because it was at that point it was really bad. So ask me what I think about what specifically, because I'm sorry, when you were saying that, it just kind of broke up.
That's okay. I was thinking about, I was saying that that this, we shouldn't change our movies or regulate things or provide restrictions. We should create more awareness through social media, and I think it has already begun. That in fact, imperfection is also beautiful, and kind of normalize imperfection.
Well, as far as dealing with, I mean, are you saying like, are you asking me how I feel about the idea of, that we should raise awareness? I mean, that's fine, but how would you raise the awareness? How would you do that exactly? Through, and how would you gain an audience doing it? Because I don't think too many people would really. I mean, there's some people would be taking interest in that, but I would think a lot of people would probably not. They would probably be like, I don't really care. And so, how would you get some sort of, how would you get people interested in that?
I think the awareness has already started. It's not,
Yep.
and it's
Okay, you're breaking up again. Sorry. You said, hold on. Wait till you come back. It's you said you think awareness has already started, and then you just broke up completely. So I have no idea what you said after that.
No, I said social media is where this started.
Oh,
Because
okay, social media.
yeah, because social media is not owned or censored or influenced by the networks anymore, by one CEO or groups of Hollywoods who
Oh,
create and make decisions.
that's not true. They do censor things on social media.
No, they
No,
do, but as not as much as I mean, you can censor one account, two accounts, three accounts. You can get shadow banned, you can get banned, but not in a way that you are showing. For instance, I'm following this woman. She doesn't have the perfect body. She has so many like cellulites, but she becomes, is right now being a beauty, the definition of beauty. But her account, she as an individual created that trend. So she opened the door, and people like her opened the door for others to say, hey, it's okay that I look like that. So they advertise that. And the TV becomes individual. You are owning your own TV now. Yes, you get censored here and there, but still, it's censored if you have a network just go to this, go to the movie, talk to the producer. You need to lose weight in this. Everyone's making contents now, and people are just more attractive to something that they can relate to reality.
Right, but how are you going how are you going to is that yours? That's not that is that your
Yeah, it's my phone. I don't know why I just keep getting all these messages. Sorry about that.
it's okay. I was just making sure it was something that was on your end and not mine. The but how would you raise awareness though? I mean, because you only have a certain number of people that are going to go on there. I mean, it, to raise enough awareness to make any kind of noticeable change, you're going to have something that's more. You're going to have to really have something in there that's going to grab a lot of people's attention. So how would you I don't I can't think of any way to do that. I mean, you can always find a platform to talk about things and hope that people listen, but as far as being able to get a large number of people to be swayed over to what you're trying to say, I don't see how that's possible at this point. I know you said that changes are already starting, but I just don't see how that's possible at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have to disagree with that, and I tell you why.
Okay.
Um, I don't know that if we are going to, I mean, I'm not watching TV anymore. I don't think we're going to watch TV especially in the new generation. And TV is the happen to TV.
Okay, you're breaking up
I
again.
mean,
You said you're not going to watch TV anymore, or you said you don't watch TV anymore, and you don't think that people are going to watch TV, and then you
they're
broke
not
off.
already. I think they're not
Right.
already because um, right now the platforms, the TV and entertainment is coming back to the hands of people, right? I mean, how many people are watching YouTube versus TV now? How many people are watching Instagram daily? And when you're watching CBS anymore, CNN anymore, Fox News anymore. So that's when a lot of people are starting to create that society that, hey, um, I think this is fine if you look this way. And I'm going to show you in my posts. And I'm going to put pictures. And she's going to get millions followers. And I think millions, it is a lot of people to make a change. It doesn't have to be billions right now. But when most of the populations right now are on social media, then TV, obviously there's going to be a switch of consciousness, the switch of what is supposed to be in TV and what the reality is.
Right. But I mean, eventually, even on that notion, you're going to have TV. You're going to have TV style shows on the internet, which is already pretty prominent right now. And those shows are not going to. They're still going to follow the same principle that the TV shows on conventional TV were already using, with the idea of sex appeal. So that they're just transferring from one medium to another. So how would you still influence? I mean, don't you agree? Don't you think like if they're not going to change the sex appeal aspect just because they're going from conventional television to the internet, they're still going to make that same kind of sex appeal, don't you think?
I'm not saying that the is
Okay. Okay.
there always there's always going to be sex appeals. It has been throughout the history. What I'm saying, the definition of the sex appeal is going to change. There is going to be the imperfections is going to be more popular. That's what I'm saying. The sex appeals, what would be sex appeals or what would be the beauty is going to change. But beauty and the sex appeals is always going to be. And yes, different medias on YouTube that it's going to be controlled by big corporations and medias. But I'm just saying that we never had industry that still people have influence now in contents and making changes in fashion and beauty. where before that wasn't a choice.
Okay. Well, so I guess you're kind of breaking up. I think what you're saying is that there's still going to be the sex appeal, but there's going to be more in control of the people versus the corporations. Is that what you're saying?
Well, not corporation necessarily. Maybe I'm not saying. Yeah, in a way, corporations like Hollywood, celebrities, fashion industries. It's going to be more people versus only one group or 1% who decides what to wear, what to do, how to look beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, well, but still, I mean, going back to my original question, though, how are you going to influence and raise awareness, though? I mean, I don't, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't at this. Even if you have it on the internet, I still don't see how you can raise enough awareness to make any substantial changes to that aspect. I mean, there's always going to be. I think the sex appeal is always going to win out, no matter what. I mean, whatever that sex appeal is, it obviously is. It, like you said, it changes over time. But are you saying that maybe we should change the idea of what sex appeal is so it becomes less uh, like denigrating to women? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying the sex appeal is going to disappear. I'm saying that yeah, what you're saying exactly. I'm saying that it's going to be more realistic. It's going to be more, if you don't need to be completely skinny to look beautiful. It's normal more perfect than perfect, right? Um, so, and in terms of how to make the change, awareness is not only one person. It's again collective of people. So if you go to TikTok now or Instagram now, I don't know, maybe I'm just looking at the wrong place, but this is what I'm seeing. That constantly there is a new generation is coming up with different ideas of beauties. And there's millions and millions of followers. And I think for me, TikTok is growing more than Instagram. Instagram is still is a little bit like perfection. There's filters, you want to show what, but TikTok is the people show their real side and they create story out of it, and they and the followers like that because they just think that, okay, if that person with that much followers can wear that bikini and make fun of herself and have that confidence, I can be okay with that too, right?
Right.
So again, not to say the sex appeal is going to disappear, but people are going to be more comfortable with their
Okay. Yeah, you're breaking up a little at the end there. So yeah, I mean, I could see that maybe, but at the same time, there's also going to be heavy media influence as well, regardless. So I mean, you might be able to. I think you can make some change based on what you're saying there, but there's always going to be some. In my opinion, there's always going to be some sort of heavy media influence that's going to decide what people should look like, and people are going to be influenced like. I mean, the one thing I bring into attention to is the music industry. Like if you look at people who sing nowadays, they always have a very specific look. They look very sexy, male or female. Whereas back in the 60s and 70s, they didn't look that sexy a lot of times. So I mean, that's heavily regulated. And they really control it because they don't want people to. They want singers out there that don't have a certain sex appeal. So um, I think there's always going to be some sort of larger corporation or larger media influence that's going to try to influence people on how they think. I guess, I mean, if and you said, like you said, there's always going to be some sort of a change, but, and that change might be, might make it so people can accept themselves for who they are. But there's always going to be something that's going to be, in my opinion, it's going to be there that's going to still set a standard that that could be unreachable for certain people or unobtainable, and it's just going to be there, and they're just going to have to deal with it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you on the part that the media the corporations will always have the influence. And I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that influences in our individual is going to increase. I'm not saying that the media and corporations are just going to miraculously go away and it's all going to be people happy one place and we all just going to love each other and then we accept how we are, whether you're fat and ugly or whatever you think it is. I'm just saying that the awareness is going to increase, not completely to the point that it's going to change all of a sudden, but there's just going to be a little bit of more power of individual. So just to balance a little bit rather than just only one power. But that's my opinion. That's how I'm looking. I'm just a social media savvy person. I'm just seeing that, and this is what I interpreted based on that.
Okay. Well, I think we should at this point we've been talking for a little over about an hour and
heated argument.
Yes, I think we should.
That's what we want. Yes, yes, I agree.
Wrap everything up here. So, what do you want to go back to our question we asked at the beginning of the show, though?
Let's do it.
Okay, let me see what we got here. All right, I'm going to bring it up here. There we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so how has the representation of females in video games changed your expectations towards women? We got 65% with created unrealistic expectations and fantasies. Next one down with 29% no change, and 6% with none of the above. So and Brandon P chimed in with a comment. He said it has changed, but very little. I tend to agree with. I agree with his comment there.
What was it? Can you say it again? I can see what he says.
He says it has changed, but very little.
Okay.
I agree. I agree with that statement. It has changed, but very little. I don't think there's been a major change. There was a push over the past few years through certain feminist groups and certain groups to try to change the way women look and their sex appeal and everything. But I don't think it's really had that much of an impact. I think things are still pretty much the same. Sometimes you do have people out there that won't look at women objectively anymore. But still, I think a lot of people do. So I in order to make a major change, I think a lot more work would have to be done to do that. Whether or not you want the change or not, I'm just telling you, I'm not saying I'm for or against it. I'm just saying, in order for there to be that kind of a change, there'd still be a lot more work that would have to be done, and you're going to get a lot of pushback from either side.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, that's just my opinion on things, but yeah.
No, I agree with that part. Yeah, I would have to say I agree with that part.
So, okay. How do you feel about the results though? The results, 65% there.
Yeah, as I expected it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
As I expected it. So, no, what's good? Good engagement.
Yeah. So
and thanks for. I think I like today's session a little bit more because I thought it was more engagement between me and you. We could express more of our opinions.
Oh yeah, I like doing that. That's very fun. So yeah, as long as we respect each other at the end of the day, we're all. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for participating, and we keep on leaving. Keep on. Let me do this because some people don't realize this. I'm going to add this. Give me a second here. I'm going to put this in the chat because sometimes people don't realize that that they can simply click on the link and they don't realize that the video is tied into the question sometimes. So what I do is I put it in the link. So if you want to click on that, you can also participate. I should have done that at the beginning of the video, but you can still vote, and we can go back to next week and see what the results are and read your comments. So, all right, thanks everybody. Did you want to add anything else before we say goodbye?
No, it was fun.
It was fun. It was. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone. Have a good one.
Bye guys.